Okay, it's 5:30 p.m. So that means it's 6 hours exactly since my friend Rami arrived and we started the closet cleaning project. And it's complete, and I'm just trying to breathe this feeling of release from just so many things that were being processed over the course of the day. I did mention this observation that many of the things that I love the most and are the most beautiful things that I have were buried in the back corners of my closet, because the main kind of front areas where I would see things on a daily basis were filled with things that I don't use anymore and I don't really even want to see. So let's just think about that for a little bit in terms of a metaphor for life, when we kind of pile things on and start dealing with what's reacting to what's right in front of us versus really going inside to consider what we truly want and love and what we want to surround ourselves with. So we can end up with things staring us in the face that aren't in fact true to our desires. The second thing was just a fundamental looking it in the face kind of view on my consumerism habit. And I know that for the last 5.5 to 8 years I was doing a lot of retail therapy, which I define as emotional comfort via spending money or buying things that looked a certain way that I thought would make me feel a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course, because we are talking about, matching internal and external. The problem is when we just kind of go out again and react to whatever merchandise is being presented to us in the store and trying to match our desire to what's presented, versus starting with desire, intention, and connection, and then allowing those things that we desire to flow toward us and our North Star feeling to guide us toward those things. Very different results. Very different feeling. Much more lasting results from the latter approach. So I look at, the mountain of things. It was really like, one, I had to look at my own habits in the face, and I was finally ready to look at that and let it go today, after hauling those things across the country and across state lines several times and using them. I mean, I definitely wore all of these things at one point in my life, so it wasn't that I just owned them without ever using them, but to see that I've owned this much stuff over the course of time was also harrowing. It was sort of like, wow. I mean, fundamentally, when I head out to buy something, I am going to have a fundamentally different approach, and I'm also going to know that a part of my daily practice will be keeping up with this sort of cycle of clearing that needs to happen as part of the creative process. And now that I'm committed to being in creative process, this will be much easier for me to accept. So I can look forward to many more regular trips to the Goodwill with hopefully smaller loads in my car each time. But I'm not going to stop acquiring things. I don't think that's realistic. It's just a more mindful approach and a more feeling-based approach to attracting things into my life. There's a difference between abundance and excess, and I really want to be mindful of not having excess. Gosh, and then I'm looking at that mountain of plastic, which were all these bags with clothing kind of covers that I had over all the suits and dresses that I owned, and like the huge mountain of plastic. That was really physically kind of like I got a physical disgust reaction from seeing that, and I just needed it out of my space right away. It was really interesting when I saw the piles of stuff come out of the closet pile of plastic after I'd folded up all the clothes and put them in bags, the pile of hangers, then hauling them down the stairs into my car with a friend's help, took us 3 trips, and then unloading my car into the Goodwill truck and thinking of the number of people that need to then sort the clothes, put them into stores, and then resell them to people. It just was mind-boggling. It was like, wow, I had this visceral reaction to the impact that our habits have on so many other components in the system, and how much energy it takes to actually course correct once we recognize what it is that we're doing unconsciously. And it's kind of an awakening that I'd like to just keep awake to and not have to wake up to again and again. In other words, I just like to keep on top of my emotional health so that I'm not put back in a situation of habitual, unconscious, anything therapy, whether it's substances, food, exercise, shopping, even self-help as a compulsion. And so it's like this idea of balance has really come into my mind in images now in a very concrete way. So I'll remember it. And I'm awake now. I'm in a very different place right now than any other time that I've tackled the donation process. And so I guess I say this not necessarily to encourage you to go clean out your closets, because I don't think it really has the same impact if you haven't done your own internal work and identifying the thoughts that are causing you to hold on to things. But I tell you this story because I have done that work, and I could hear those thoughts going through my head as I picked up each item of clothing, and I just knew exactly what period of my life those came from. And I know there's more work to do. I know that that closet as it is now is not the final closet of my life, nor is it kind of my ideal closet right now. It's just a lot better. There's a lot more space to breathe and to think and to look and to see what I actually have, and that's a huge step. And my clothes have actually found their way toward a better owner right now who will make better use of them than collecting dust inside my closet underneath plastic bags. So I'm hoping, well, I know that providing those suits to some woman who is looking for a great interview suit or just wants to augment her wardrobe, they're gonna find good homes, because I wasn't making good use of them anymore. So I guess that's me signing out at the end of a day that ended up being pretty heavy emotionally in terms of seeing a lot of stuff, but also ultimately huge relief, huge freedom, and huge excitement to see what arrives in the space that I've created. Have a great day.